What's up guys, we are back with another custom ROM review here, and this is the EvolutionX 6.2.2 based on Android 12.1 or Android 12L. This is the ROM which is maintained by Ashish, so thanks to Ashish for maintaining this ROM not only for Redmi 8 but also for Redmi 7A, 8A and 8A Dual. It means that you can install this ROM on Redmi 7A, 8A and 8A Dual as well, and of course I'm gonna review it for Redmi 8. So currently this ROM is supporting Android 12.1 and some of the bugs about this ROM would be included in the last, so stay tuned in the full video. First of all, let's talk about the ROM here. So it comprises of Android security update of 5 April 2022 and Google Play system update of 1 January 2022. Every month you will get an update, means more than 2 updates, 2 builds you will get via OTA of this ROM, so don't worry about the updates. And this has the kernel of 4.9.302 perf. Talking about the stability of this ROM is much stable. For that, stay tuned with us to the last of the video. Let's move on to the customization part. So before moving on to the Evolver section, which contains tons of customizations for this ROM, I would like to introduce you to the themed icons and monet theming engine of Android 12, and this is much improved in the Android 12.1 or 12L. So let me just hold down on the home screen and you can see a section of recently used wallpapers. Clicking on them like this will change the wallpaper, including the themed icons color and the accent color of the system UI, which is very good. And I would like to show you the QS panel 2 of this ROM, which you can customize it on your way. Of course, moving on to the edit button, you have separate tiles for mobile data and Wi-Fi, which most of the ROMs do not provide. You can see the internet tile is available over here. It's up to you, whatever you want to keep it, you can keep it. I will be talking it about later. Let's move on to settings with the Evolver section over here. So first of all, you have the Evolver section containing the theme, which you can see the first option is use black theme. The black theme I am using is the pitch black theme. If you want the pitch black theme, you can turn this option on, but if you don't want, if you want a normal black system, you can just turn it off. You have the monet engine, which you can customize your monet and you can use some accurate shades, which I have currently turned it off. Moving on to the dark theme option, you have the dark theme option available over here, and scheduling option including the schedule from sunset to sunrise is also available over here. Moving on to the theming section over here, so you have the body font, means the system wide font collection is over here, including the Harmony OS, the OnePlus Sans, the OnePlus Slate, One UI Sans, etc. So you can use it. The default font is here is of the Google Sans. And of course, moving on to the icon pack, means this icon pack in the status bar you can change it. I have been using Oxygen OS, so I just like Oxygen OS much. You can change it to Achirus, circular, filled, etc. Moving on to the signal and Wi-Fi icon style, so you have these type of icon styles available for these. And moving on to the icon shape, so it means what shape of icon do you want on the home screen. So you have variety of options, but for me default is the best one. Moving on to the status bar, you have status bar items, means what icons do you want on the status bar. I have turned mostly off because I want a clean experience. Clock style, you have option where you want in the center if you want, in the left if you want, or in the right if you want, but I will prefer left because left is means it is a habit of people of watching clock on the left. Moving on to clock and date, of course you have auto hide clock in the launcher and at regular intervals as well. You can enable the clock seconds as I have turned it on. AM PM style and date is available option over here. Moving on to traffic indicator, so traffic indicator location, means on the QS header you will be getting the traffic indicator option over here, and also you can just keep it on dynamic or download or upload, whatever you want to keep it. Moving on to the battery icon, you have the battery icon style with portrait, circle dotted and circle filled, or just the text if you want, but I would prefer circle dotted. And percentage in the icon, next to the icon, and hidden options are also available over here. Telephony icons also consist of old style mobile data icons, show 4G instead of LTE, etc. are available over here. And also you have my privacy indicator, which you can see on the top of our screen. You have this privacy indicator, means I am just using the screen recorder, so that's why it is showing me. And also you have combined signal icons, etc. Moving on to notification section, you have reticker option. If you want to disable the heads up, you have that option, and of course some of the extra options are available here. You may check out and it yourself. Moving on to the quick settings, you have general, which has date, means if you want to see the date in the quick settings panel, you can just go for it. Battery estimates, quick QS pull down, and of course artwork media background is available here. And of course you can customize the brightness slider if you want. You can just do brightness slider show always, means like this also you can do on the position where you need, means on the bottom or the top, and auto brightness icon if you want to enable, but I would prefer that it would be simple for me. And QS footer warnings, user account, edit tiles icon, means after expanding the QS tile you see these type of icon. You can disable them too and customize it too if you want. Let's move on to the power menu section, where you can go on to the system settings, means if you want to disable the power menu, though the option for the power menu is given in the quick settings as well, but if you want to use the power menu as an assistant, so the option available is here. And of course you can just customize your power menu, and just let me show you the power menu. So I have customized this like this, where you have the power off option, restart, advanced restart, and a screenshot option. You can add more up to your choice. Moving on to the gestures option, you have the system settings, where you can quickly tap to start action, quickly open camera, and system navigation including the gesture navigation. Moving on to the settings of gesture navigation, you have swipe to invoke the assistant option, the sensitivity of left edge and right edge, the amount of screen height and pill length, of course you have these options. And moving on to one-handed mode also is available over here. Press and hold the power button for the power menu, and this option I've already told you. Double tapping on the lock screen, so you can just enable the always on display. That option is also available here. So most of the features are available also here. Moving on to the lock screen, you have the always on display schedule, but I won't recommend using always on display on an LCD device. The battery will drain much faster than you think. Media cover art is also available here. Ripple effect, fingerprint error vibration, and etc. are available over here. And moving on to the buttons option, you have on screen navigation bar, show arrow keys while tapping, invert 3-button navigation bar, etc. And you have volume rocker wake, means you can just wake via volume rocker, and partial screenshot gestures are also available over here. Moving on to miscellaneous, you have the game space, but I have turned it off because the game space for me is useless. But if you want to use the game space, you can use. The unlimited photo storage is also available over here, but I am not using it because recently news had arrived that using this unlimited photo storage prop will make your account suspended or disabled for a short period of time. I'm not sure. And these options are for unlocking higher FPS in games, unlocking higher quality streams, doesn't work for me, but you can try it out. Pulse option is also available over here, means if you play a music, the pulse animations would be arriving if you want navbar pulse, if you want ambient display pulse. So I've just turned it on for the lock screen. So you have this show CPU info available over here, toast app icon, USB configuration, etc. And lastly you have the team EvolutionX, where you can find, and of course the contributors of here are displayed. So this was all about the customizations of this ROM. Now let's move on to our next part. Let's talk about the safety net status of this ROM. So before rooting I tested it, so it was passed, but if you root this ROM, so your safety net will be failed. And talking about the Play Store certification on this device, that was too passed, but if you root your device it won't be passed. Moving on to the DRM information, So this has widevine L3 because of course our device has an HD plus screen and won't support FHD plus streaming on Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. And last but not the least, the CPU throttling test gave me better results than that of the Conquer OS we have reviewed long ago. But of course I would say that if you look at the graph, it fluctuated a little bit, but still I got an optimum performance in all aspects of this ROM. So now let's talk about the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So talking about the Antutu first, it gives me 1,14,300 plus score, which is really unexpected because it is more than that of the Conquer OS 4.7 based on Android 11. And talking about the Geekbench scores, so it has a single core score of 158 and multi-core score of 577, which I will say is decent. So now let's talk about battery and the performance about this ROM. So first of all, talking about battery stats from the Franco kernel manager. So the stats right now I am getting is active drain is 11.96% per hour, means you can get it approximately 12% per hour as per my usage, and screen on time is about 1 hour and 25 minutes, draining 17% of battery, and deep sleep was about 18 minutes and 27 seconds. So for me it is decent, but screen on time varies from person to person, so you cannot justify on mine basis. Moving on to the settings and going on to the battery section, we have 71% battery left and it shows 13 hours and 58 minutes, means almost 14 hours of battery backup left. It is showing almost approximate, but accurately it might will lead you to 12 hours of battery left. It also has the thermal profiles option available over here, which you can set for various applications, but for me this was nothing because already as per the application the battery was optimized. You can go on to the battery usage stats as you can see over here with gaming of BGMI or PUBG Mobile, whatever you say, and this was the stats which you can see. Moving back, you have the adaptive preferences option available over here. Idle manager option is also available over here. Talking about the performance is decent. After you flash this ROM and boot the ROM for the first time, you might feel some lags, but after almost half a day of usage you will feel no lags, and of course day-to-day usage of this ROM has a very great battery backup and a performance. But if you go for gaming you might not face the same, you might get some little bit of bad battery backup up to your gaming, as I play PUBG Mobile, so that is means I have to charge at least 1 or 2 times per day this ROM. And of course this is one of the best Android 12 ROMs out there for performance as well as gaming, including the customization. Now let's talk about some BGMI gameplay, and after that I will tell you some other things about this ROM.
The blue team has scored for the first time!
हाँ भाई कैसी लगी आगे स्वाद
No mercy! Reloading! Nice shot! Cover me!
देखा आपने लापरवाही का नतीजा है
गजब बेइज्जती है
Is in the lead. Dead! Target down! Cover me! Nice shot! Reloading! Watch out! Dead! Reloading! Cover me! Enemy down!
So now let's talk about some more things about this ROM, including some more beneficial features. So first of all, moving on to sound and vibration, you have an option for clear speaker and Mi sound enhancer, including the per app volume control, which I think many people, I guess most of the people would like. And moving on to the display, you have display color calibration, where you can adjust the grayscale and the color settings according to you, and also you have some presets available over here. And also you have the ambient display customizations, which you can see. And moving on to the security, you have a new user interface, including the face unlock is also available over here. If you go to the advanced setting, you have the stock lock options, where you can set app lock and other things too. It will just redirect you to the old UI of the Android 11, and rest smart lock device admin apps are available over here. Moving on to the system, you have an option for system update, where whenever a new build comes, it will download, but don't worry about the speed, because the server from which the OTA arrives here has a very low speed, so it doesn't depends upon your internet speed. Of course, your internet, you should use Wi-Fi while downloading, otherwise you must just dirty flash by downloading the build. And if you face some of the issues in this, you can just report that into the Telegram support group, link to which is provided in the description below. And talking about some other things about this ROM, so you can see on the home screen I have these applications as themed icons. So this is not possible while the default launcher is Pixel launcher, but it still doesn't support many icons as themed. So you need to install a Magis module, which is the Pixel launcher mod for Android 12.1 and 12L. For that also you can join the support group, the link to which is provided in the description. You can ask for the module and you can just flash it, and you can enjoy themed icons on more than 300 or 400 plus applications, including Magis, Speed Test, Clash of Clans, etc. And talking about the camera app here, it is provided Gcam Go, because the developer himself has said that Gcam Go is the best and the stable camera application for here. The full version of Gcam isn't available. If it will be available in the future, I will definitely make out a video for it. And now let's move on to a last part of our video, which is the bugs in this ROM. So without any further ado, let's begin. So first of all, before moving on to the bugs, I will just give you a small recommendation. This is not a bug, but of course, if you don't know that, I should tell you that Android 12 and 12L doesn't support TWRP decryption after installing the ROM. So before installing the ROM, make sure you have an SD card, so that in future you can switch to any other ROM. Otherwise, you have to stay permanently on this ROM. And of course, TWRP decryption is not a problem of EvolutionX or any other custom ROM. It is a Google's issue. Whenever it tries to fix it will. And of course, the latest TWRP builds are not available, which will help you decrypt the TWRP. So again, I am saying, if you have an SD card, then only install this ROM. Otherwise, go back to any other Android 10 or Android 11 based custom ROM. So now moving on to the bugs. First of all, moving on to the evolver section over here. So let me just go on to the evolver section and animations. So first of all, you can see the charging animation option. So while it is on, you can of course plug into your charger and see of course a beautiful smooth animation on your screen. But many people won't like it. But if you try to turn this option off, this won't work. Still, the animation could be experienced by you after you plug in your charger. So this is a bug. I have been telling the maintainer to fix it, but he has told that it may be a source issue. I'm not sure, but yes. So this was the first bug. And talking about the second bug, so moving on to the update. So first of all, you need to go to the security, and here you can see that this is the system update, Google Play system update. So of course, when you will connect to the internet, you will see that update for this has arrived, but you won't be able to install it because this is a source bug. So that was experienced by me. And talking about some other bugs, there is no other such bugs, but in case you face some other bugs, you may kindly report it to the support group, and in the next build it might get fixed. So that was all about this custom ROM review. Hopefully you might have liked the review, and in case you have liked the video, make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe the channel for more interesting custom ROM reviews in future whenever I will get time, and stay tuned with us.